Welcome, esteemed gentlemen. The strongest walls are the ones you never see. In a world obsessed with oversharing and status updates, there's one type of individual who thrives in the shadows. The Sigma male. He's not your typical social butterfly, nor is he the loudest in the room. In fact, he may be the quietest, because he knows the undeniable power of privacy. Statistics reveal that nearly 80% of our personal details are exposed online. Yet here's a guy who manages to keep his cards so close that even his closest friends are left guessing. Why does he choose silence over disclosure and mystery over familiarity? For Sigma males, privacy isn't just a preference, it's a way of life, a fortress that shields them from a world full of judgment, manipulation, and, let's be honest, nosy neighbors who can't resist a good scoop. By keeping their inner thoughts and plans under wraps, they've mastered the art of intrigue and unpredictability, leaving everyone from colleagues to potential rivals wondering, what is he really up to? Number 1. Mastering the element of surprise. Sigma males understand that one of the most powerful moves in life is keeping people on their toes. By revealing little and staying somewhat elusive, they hold on to a priceless advantage, the element of surprise. This isn't about being sneaky, it's about knowing that the less people know, the harder it is for them to predict or counter your next step. When you never fully reveal your hand, others are left guessing and, more importantly, reacting. And for a Sigma, that's the sweet spot. The element of surprise lets Sigma males control situations without appearing forceful or overbearing. By keeping their plans and intentions hidden, they can operate on their own terms, making decisions without external noise or pressure. When they do finally act, they're often 10 steps ahead, and everyone else is left wondering how they pulled it off. That's because while others are busy guessing, they're strategically moving in silence. Imagine just when people think they have him all figured out, he's already moved on to the next level, and he didn't even leave breadcrumbs. The best part? Keeping people guessing can be kind of fun. There's something satisfying about knowing you're the only one with the full picture, watching as others try to piece together your moves like a puzzle with missing pieces. Sure, some might find it frustrating, but that's their problem, not his. Sigma males know that by keeping the mystery alive, they maintain the upper hand. And honestly, life's just a bit more interesting that way. Why show all your cards when you can leave a trail of question marks instead? For the Sigma, a little secrecy is not only powerful, it's priceless. At number 2, protecting your vision from sabotage. Sigma males often think long-term, with goals that aren't always easy to explain or immediately understood by others. They tend to see things in a way that challenges the norm, so they understand that sharing these big, ambitious plans too soon can attract unwanted interference. Some people might misunderstand or criticize their ideas, while others might, intentionally or not, try to discourage or derail them. For a Sigma, it's less about secrecy for secrecy's sake and more about safeguarding something valuable until it's truly ready. Privacy becomes their shield. By keeping their goals close, they reduce the risk of well-meaning but misguided advice or outright attempts at sabotage. This isn't paranoia. It's a realistic approach to protecting the work they've invested so much in. Sigma males know that not everyone has their best interests at heart. Even friends, family, or colleagues, despite their good intentions, may influence their path in ways that don't serve them. And for Sigmas who are fiercely independent thinkers, any external meddling feels like an obstacle rather than support. When a Sigma is finally ready to reveal what he's been working on, it's because the vision is already well-formed, solid, and unshakable. By then, it's too far along for others to tamper with or undermine. They reveal only when their foundation is rock solid, making interference nearly impossible. This strategy not only keeps their ambitions safe, but also gives them a unique advantage: the freedom to build their dreams on their own terms, away from outside expectations and with minimal interference. Number 3, guarding against emotional manipulators. Sigma males are well aware of the risks that come with emotional vulnerability. Unlike those who openly share their feelings or expose their weaknesses, Sigmas understand that there's a cost to showing too much. People who know your personal struggles or insecurities can, whether intentionally or accidentally, use that knowledge to manipulate your emotions. For a Sigma, keeping things private isn't just about secrecy. It's a layer of protection against anyone trying to get the upper hand through their emotions. They've seen how easily emotional manipulation can slip into even well-meaning interactions. A casual confidant might suddenly start giving unsolicited advice, or worse, push their own agenda by preying on the Sigma's vulnerabilities. By staying reserved and keeping their personal details close, Sigmas keep themselves in control of their own story. They know that emotional transparency can sometimes lead to a one-sided power dynamic, where others feel entitled to weigh in on their lives. The less people know, the less leverage they have. Sigmas also understand that emotional boundaries are key to self-preservation. They don't avoid closeness. They simply believe that true trust is earned gradually, not freely given. Their guarded nature ensures that the people in their lives are there for the right reasons, not because they see an opportunity to manipulate or sway their emotions. This self-protection isn't about being cold. It's a calculated decision to stay grounded and independent, making sure that only the most genuine relationships survive their careful filtering. By keeping a strategic distance, they avoid the pitfalls of manipulation, focusing instead on relationships that offer mutual respect and authenticity. At number 4, preventing competitors from gaining an edge. Sigma males are highly competitive, but they don't need to flaunt it. Their approach is subtle and strategic, focused on results rather than attention. By keeping their plans and strategies private, they prevent potential competitors from gaining insight into their next moves. Unlike more outspoken personalities who discuss their ambitions openly, Sigmas operate in a way that's quiet, deliberate, and under the radar. This gives them a unique advantage. They're able to progress in their goals without alerting others who might want to copy, disrupt, or outmaneuver them. Their silence is more than just a preference. It's a layer of protection. When they keep their methods and intentions concealed, they create a natural barrier against people who might otherwise observe, analyze, and exploit their approach. For a Sigma, openly discussing plans would feel like handing their opponents a roadmap to what they're doing. They know that once a strategy is out there, it can easily be replicated or countered. By holding back, they ensure that only they fully understand the intricacies of their process, leaving others guessing and unable to compete on the same level. Sigmas are fully aware that success often brings imitation or rivalry. So rather than broadcast their path, they prefer to let their achievements speak for themselves once they've secured the win. By that point, any competitor's reaction will already be too late to impact their success. It's a clever and calculated approach that allows them to maintain control, stay one step ahead, and protect the fruits of their hard work from being overshadowed or diluted by outside interference. For a Sigma, privacy isn't just a preference. It's an essential part of their competitive edge. Number 5, avoiding judgment on unconventional ideas. Sigma males often think in ways that defy the norm. They aren't satisfied with conventional answers or mainstream paths. Instead, they carve out their own, sometimes radical routes toward their goals. This type of thinking is powerful, but it's also easy for others to misunderstand. People who don't share their perspective or can't see the bigger picture may be quick to criticize or judge. For the Sigma, this outside noise is nothing but a distraction. They understand that openly sharing their unconventional ideas could lead to skepticism, pushback, or outright dismissal from people who simply don't get it. Rather than dealing with the hassle of defending their ideas or explaining themselves, Sigmas prefer to keep things under wraps. Privacy gives them the freedom to explore and experiment without the burden of having to justify every move. They can dive deep into their interests and pursue what really matters to them, unbothered by the opinions or limited understanding of others. This private approach allows them to refine and develop their ideas fully before ever bringing them to light, ensuring that when they do reveal their plans, they're already well thought out and grounded. By staying private, Sigma males avoid the trap of letting other people's judgments cloud their thinking or influence their path. Instead, they cultivate a focused and independent mindset, allowing them to push boundaries and stay ahead of the curve. For the Sigma, privacy isn't about hiding. It's about building and creating in peace, far from the limitations of conventional wisdom. This commitment to independence and forward thinking keeps them free to pursue their ideas on their own terms, without anyone else's approval or interference. Number 6. Deflecting envy and resentment. Sigma males are keenly aware that success often brings unwanted attention, particularly in the form of envy and resentment from others. Unlike those who may revel in sharing their accomplishments, Sigmas take a more subdued approach, opting to downplay their achievements and keep their progress under wraps. This strategic choice serves multiple purposes, primarily aimed at minimizing the risk of becoming targets of jealousy. By choosing to keep their successes quiet, Sigmas create a buffer between themselves and the negativity that can arise from others' insecurities. When you're openly celebrated, you often attract scrutiny, and with scrutiny comes the potential for envy. People might feel threatened by a Sigma's accomplishments, viewing them as benchmarks that highlight their own shortcomings. By remaining low-key, Sigma males deflect this kind of attention and create an environment where they can continue to work without the distractions and tensions that often accompany success. This doesn't mean that Sigma males lack pride in their achievements. Rather, they understand the importance of discretion. They prefer to let their work speak for itself, believing that genuine success doesn't require constant validation from others. By remaining under the radar, they can focus on their goals without the weight of others' expectations or the pressure of being seen as a rival. It allows them to cultivate their craft and evolve without the interference that often comes from those who might seek to undermine or belittle their efforts. In essence, by controlling the narrative around their success, Sigma males create a protective barrier that allows them to thrive in peace. They can continue their journey, developing their skills and pursuing their ambitions without the burden of envy weighing them down. This approach not only fosters a more tranquil work environment, but also reinforces their reputation as independent thinkers who prioritize their path above the noise of external validation. Number 7. Avoiding burdensome expectations. Sigma males know that sharing personal goals and ambitions often leads to a problem: other people's expectations. When someone knows your plans, they tend to project their own ideas, hopes, and pressures onto you, sometimes completely out of line with your own intentions or circumstances. Sigmas, valuing their independence, are cautious about letting others define what they should be doing. They understand that once people get wind of their aspirations, they start to assume they know the right path for them, and might even start pushing them in directions that serve their own agendas rather than the Sigma's actual goals. For a Sigma, keeping things private is a way to sidestep these burdensome expectations. They don't want others putting timelines, milestones, or imagined outcomes on them, especially when those expectations might not align with their own pace or priorities. Sigmas know that outside pressure can warp their progress, making them feel obligated to meet standards that weren't even theirs in the first place. Instead of allowing themselves to be swept up by the ideas others impose, they create a protective layer of privacy, where their personal journey remains truly personal. In avoiding these external expectations, Sigmas retain the freedom to adjust their goals and path as they see fit. They can change course, experiment, or move at their own speed without anyone breathing down their necks, asking for updates or results. This freedom lets them focus on what truly matters to them, free from the weight of others' demands or misguided encouragement. For a Sigma, privacy is not just about secrecy. It's a vital way to preserve their independence, ensuring that their ambitions stay authentic and unshaped by the pressures of anyone else's expectations. Number 8. Selective investment in relationships. Sigma males approach relationships with a selective, almost minimalist mindset. For them, relationships are an investment of time, energy, and emotional bandwidth, and they're not interested in spreading those resources thin. By staying private, they avoid pouring themselves into connections that may not be genuine or reciprocal. Instead of trying to be liked by everyone or creating a wide network, They focus on building a few meaningful relationships that actually add value to their lives. Sigmas reveal themselves only to those who earn it. They don't hand out trust freely. Instead, they observe, assess, and get a sense of whether someone is genuinely worth the investment. This approach lets them filter out the superficial connections that might bring fleeting satisfaction, but no real substance. They're not interested in friendships based on small talk or surface-level exchanges. For them, it's about depth. By limiting who has access to their personal thoughts, ambitions, or vulnerabilities, Sigmas ensure that their connections are built on mutual respect and understanding. This approach may seem reserved, but it's anything but cold. Sigma males understand that deeper relationships require patience and authenticity. By carefully selecting who they let into their inner circle, they create a network that is truly supportive, meaningful, and built on a solid foundation of earned trust. This selective approach also allows them to conserve their energy, focusing it on people who genuinely matter, rather than scattering it across countless, shallow connections. For a Sigma, relationships are about quality, not quantity, and by keeping their cards close, they foster the kind of loyalty and depth that only comes from carefully chosen, deeply valued bonds. Number 9. Understanding the power of silence. Sigma males understand that silence is often more powerful than words. In a world where everyone seems eager to talk, share, and fill every quiet moment, Sigmas stand out by choosing when to speak, and more importantly, when not to. Silence for them is not an absence of communication, but a deliberate tool that can command attention and respect. When a Sigma male holds back and simply listens, he creates an air of intrigue and authority that makes others naturally curious about his thoughts. People can find silence uncomfortable, especially when they're not used to it. In a conversation, most people instinctively rush to fill a pause, often revealing more about themselves than they intended. Sigma males know this and use it to their advantage. By staying quiet, they allow others to open up and speak freely, giving them the chance to observe, assess, and understand the other person's intentions, values, and even weaknesses. It's a way of gathering information without ever having to ask direct questions, allowing Sigmas to understand people on a deeper level. This power of silence also serves as a filter. When a Sigma doesn't feel the need to constantly explain or validate himself, it subtly commands respect. People around him begin to recognize that he won't just speak to please or to fill space. If he's saying something, it's because it genuinely matters. This selective approach to conversation gives his words weight and his presence a kind of quiet authority. Silence becomes a shield and a mirror, a way for Sigmas to protect their own intentions and reflect back the world around them, all while gathering valuable insights that others might miss. Number 10. Control over narrative. Sigma males are masters of crafting their own narratives, and they understand the importance of controlling the flow of information about themselves. By selectively choosing what to share and what to keep private, they can shape how others perceive them. This strategic withholding of information isn't about deception. Rather, it's about empowerment. When a Sigma keeps certain details under wraps, he maintains the ability to frame his story on his own terms. This allows him to present the version of himself that aligns with his true identity and goals, rather than letting others define him based on incomplete or misunderstood information. In a society where narratives can be twisted and turned to suit various agendas, this control is crucial. People often jump to conclusions or make assumptions based on snippets of information, which can lead to misrepresentation. A Sigma is keenly aware of this dynamic and uses it to his advantage. By not giving away too much, he minimizes the risk of others manipulating his story to fit their own interpretations or biases. Instead of becoming a passive participant in how his life is viewed, he actively curates the information that enters public discourse. This level of control fosters a sense of autonomy and confidence. Sigmas don't rely on others for validation or understanding. They own their narrative, which ultimately protects their integrity. When they choose to share their story, it's usually well considered, delivering maximum impact. Their audience knows that what they're hearing comes from a place of authenticity, not half-truths or assumptions. This thoughtful management of their personal narrative not only shields them from the opinions of others, but also builds a deeper connection with those who are genuinely interested in understanding them on a meaningful level. The essence of a Sigma male lies in his profound understanding of self, coupled with a mastery of the art of privacy. By choosing to keep his cards close to his chest, he not only safeguards his ambitions, but also cultivates an environment where he can thrive on his own terms. In a society that often demands openness and vulnerability, Sigmas carve out their own paths, navigating life with a blend of confidence, introspection, and strategic restraint. Their ability to maintain control over their narrative, deflect envy, and focus on personal growth allows them to flourish in solitude, cultivating unique perspectives that set them apart from the crowd. In a way, they embody the notion that true strength lies not in loud proclamations or public validation, but in the quiet resolve to pursue one's passions without the weight of external expectations. Ultimately, Sigma males remind us of the power of discretion and the beauty of autonomy. Their journey illustrates that success and fulfillment can be achieved through self-awareness and independence, allowing them to rise above societal norms and emerge as authentic individuals. As they continue to explore their depths and push boundaries, they inspire those around them to rethink the value of silence, solitude, and the strength found in guarding one's vision closely. In this increasingly noisy world, perhaps we could all benefit from a little more Sigma in our lives, embracing the quiet, respecting the process, and trusting in our own unique paths. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Sigma male mindset, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content on personal development and self-discovery. Your support helps us build a community focused on independence and authenticity. Share this video with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to embrace our unique paths. Thanks for watching, and keep thriving in your own space.